This week is Parshat Vayeshev, and there's a lot of Vayeshev always comes out, and the stories of Yosef always come out connected to Hanukkah. And there's a lot of literature that tries to delve into what is the deeper connection between Sipurei Yosef and Hanukkah. So I just wanted to share one thought. The question is always exacerbated and enhanced by a very, very striking Medrash Gemara that appears in the midst of the story of Hanukkah. We're told in the beginning of this week's parsha that the brothers had animosity towards Yosef, and Vayikachuhu, the pasuk says in Perek Lamed Zayin, pasuk of Dalet, Vayikachuhu vayashlichu oso habora. They threw him into the bore. Now their intention was not to kill him necessarily. V'habor reik ein bo mayim. They didn't want to kill him. They just tried to cast him into the bore. And it was an empty bore, ein bo mayim. And Chazal tell us that true, ein bo mayim, there was no water in there. Haval nachashim va'akravim yesh bo. And indeed, it was a fatal situation. There were deadly snakes and scorpions in the bore, and Yosef indeed could have perished very easily as a result of these nachashim va'akravim. Indeed, the Gemara in Maseches Shabbos, in the midst of all these, of all the halachos, in Perek Madlikin of Hilchos Chanukah, the only Agadata that you find seems to be totally out of place. It's quoted here in a series of memories of Amrav Kahana, Darash Rav Nosson Bar Minyomi Mishmei Rav Tamchon, a series of memories by this Amora that pertain to Chanukah. So in the middle of all that, it also has this drasha of Haborek Ein B'Mayim Aval Nachashim V'Akravim Yeshbo. So everyone wants to know what exactly is the connection between this drasha and Hanukkah. Why is this doing over here, other than the fact that it's in a series of statements by this Amora that it is brought? But why exactly is there a deeper idea over here? So a lot has been said about this, but one thought perhaps that is relevant. If you look in the Midrashim, at the end of, I believe it's Vayechi, might be Vayigash, after there's a reconciliation among the brothers, and Yaakov has died, and they're going back. So they're going back to bury Yaakov in Eretz Yisrael, Maras Machpelah. So there's one point where Yosef diverges. He goes in his own direction. He goes away from the brothers, and the brothers are fearful. Maybe he's plotting to kill them. Maybe he really hates them, and he's really, now that Yaakov is out of the picture, he's going to come back and kill them. And Chazal say no, that's not what he was doing. And actually, what Yosef was detouring to is he detoured to this bore. He came upon this bore, the same exact bore. And what did he do? He made a bracha when he reached that bore. What bracha did he make? He made the bracha of Sha'asa Lines B'Makom Hazeh. That there's a mitzvah that when you come upon a place where a nes was done for you, so you have to make a bracha Sha'asa Lines B'Makom Hazeh. Chazal tell us, the She'iltos writes this, the Abu Draham, that the mitzvah of making a bracha, Sha'asali Nisim, Bizman Hazeh, so the bracha of Sha'asa Nisim, so we make for one of two reasons. One is if you come to a calendaric date, an anniversary of a great nes that befell you, so then that's the bracha you make of Sha'asa Nisim. This is what we have by Chanukah and by Purim. And then also, if you hit a makom, even if it's not related to the calendar, but a makom where a nes happened to you, there's also a bracha that's recited, Sha'asa li nes b'makom hazeh. So Yosef went and made the bracha. That's what he was going away to do. He hit upon his bore, he makes this bracha. So the Maral and others are bothered. You know, all of Yosef's life, really, when you think about it, from this week's Parsha on, was a story of hashgacha pratis. Every aspect was a tremendous amount of hashgacha. In fact, if you look in the beginning of the parsha, we're told that Yosef was sent by his father to find his brothers, and he didn't know where they were, and he's lost. He finds himself to be lost, and the Torah tells us, Vayimtsaehu ish v'nei basadeh. There's some ish, a mystery man, finds Yosef. We're told by Rashi, Zu Gavriel. But it's some ish, a mystery man, and he's lost. Yosef is lost in the field. And and he says he's looking for his brothers, and the ish sends him, sends him in the direction, Nelcha Dosaina. They went to Dosan. Go Dosaina. So, and Yosef travels on. This mystery ish is in the middle of nowhere. He's lost, sends him in his way. And the whole process of the brothers capturing him and selling him down to the Yishmaelim, to the Medanim, down to Mitzrayim. And then he finds himself in jail, he finds himself in the house of Potiphar, and then he finds himself jailed. And in every place he rises l'malucha, he rises to the top. He rises to the top of the house of Potiphar before he's cast away. Then in jail, he also becomes the leader in the jail. Then he becomes the leader in Mitzrayim. The whole process is a process of a tremendous amount of hashgacha pratis. There's only one thing, however. Maral says, so why dafka over here? Why dafka is he going to the board to say shasli nes? His whole life was nes. His whole life was a process of hashgacha, of nisim, where he's clearly guided by the hand of Hashem, and indeed in the reconciliation with his brothers. When they're nervous, what's going to be? Yosef himself says it was all the Yad Elokim. It was all the Yad Hashem, and he understands it very clearly. So why dafka does he go to the board to say shasli nes? B'makom hazeh, everywhere was nes. It was all over was nes. So the Maral says, and maybe this is a deeper connection to Hanukkah, is the Maral tells us that when it comes to nisim, so we have two different types of nisim. There's nes nigla and there's nes nistar. If you look through the Sipur Yosef and all this hashgacha that Yosef had, but it was all behind the scenes. It was all Hashem maneuvering, manipulating, operating, driving the course of events, but you don't see the Shem Hashem at all. Yes, you know Hashem is guiding, but the Shem Hashem is not seen. The one place where perhaps it was mamish nes nigla, where it was clearly he's thrown into a pit 20 amos deep, and nechashim v'akravim, and somehow he survives it. So perhaps that was the lone place where there was a nes nigla. The bracha of sha'asa nisim is a bracha that is only recited, says the Abu Draham, on a nes nigla, but not on a nes nistar. A nes nistar happens, no bracha. Nes nigla, you make this bracha. So what's the deeper idea? So indeed, Yosef's whole life was a life of hashgacha pratis, of Hashem guiding the scenes. But sometimes, when you're faced with that kind of hashgacha, Hashem giving you nisim, nes nista, behind the scenes, you don't always appreciate, you lose sight of it. It's when you have a nes nigla that happens, that is megal, that reveals to you, that makes you understand so much better that everything else was also the Yad Hashem as well. This really is the two nisim, the two events of Hanukkah, because on Hanukkah we commemorate and we celebrate two major nisim that Hashem did. One we reflect and we talk about in the Al Hanisim. The Al Hanisim we talk about Rabin B'Yad Ma'atim. We emphasize the military victory that we had. We had a tremendous military victory. We were totally outmanned, totally outnumbered. There's no way we should have won yet we won that battle. The Hanerus Halalu that we recite as well is also a reflection of the military battle that we highlight the Yeshua that we had in Milchama. However, when the Gemara says in Masechah Shabbos in the second parak, my Chanukah, why did we celebrate the Nes of Chanukah? So the answer is because there was one Pach Shemen which lasted 8 days. You see, those are two Nisim. But the Nes of the Milchama, you look around, the Milchama, sometimes underdogs win. That sometimes happens. It's miraculous, it's tremendous, but it happens. We see the Israeli army in the 6-day war, we see sometimes an underdog sometimes win, and perhaps we can explain it away. We can give some rational explanation. That's called Nes Nistar. The Nes Pach Hashem, one flask of oil lasting for 8 days, that was a Nes Nigla. So they're both Nisim. But sometimes you have a juxtaposition. You need the Nes Nigla. That the Nes Nigla is what you say the Ashasa Nisim on. But once you have that Nes Nigla, that reveals to you, that makes so clear that, you know what? The Milchama as well, that was also the Yad Hashem. This is the connection between Sipurei Yosef and Nes Chanukah. Sipurei Yosef also, a life of Yad Hashem behind the scenes. Perhaps only one Nes Nigla, but it's the Nes Nigla, you make the Bracha Shas Nisman on that, and that reveals to you that everything else is also the Yad Hashem. So too when it comes to Nes Chanukah, is that there was one Nes Nigla, the Pach Shemen. But everything that transpired, the Milchama, the Yeshua, that also was Hashem operating behind the scenes. We celebrate that as well, but sometimes we need the revelation of the Nes Nigla to reveal to us that Hashem is guiding everything, that it's also the Nes Nistar, is also the Yad Hashem, that Hashgacha Pratis that is always with us.